The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
Wow, here it is again, a fabulous Football Friday edition of Mick Shots. How can it be Friday once again inside the SWBC podcast studio?
That's what happens when you have a great podcast. You're having fun all week, and time just flies by.
This week cool. Didn't it?
It did. No, that's what happens when you won 4 straight games, going on number 5 in Foxborough, Massachusetts on Sunday afternoon, 3:25 Dallas time. And who's on the call this week?
I would believe it's one Tony Romo.
That's exactly right. The game is on CBS with Jim Nantz, former Boston Patriot Jim Nantz.
What happened to that?
No, it's not. There was a Jim Nantz who played for the Patriots, but not this one. And Tony Romo on the call for CBS. In years past, you wouldn't, when Dallas played on the road,
It'd
you would
be
not
a Fox game,
it would
right?
be a Fox game, but
or CBS.
They are
They
making
don't do that anymore. What happened with all of that? I could always depend on Fox having NFC, CBS having AFC, right?
It's all the effort to get the best games on the national audience, and so they flex those over, or whatever term they use for it. And in fact, CBS had the Cowboys-Chargers game too. How'd that game turn out on the road?
Pretty well.
Okay, so here you go.
But that's an AFC team.
And also the Patriots.
Yeah, but when you have a mixture, you could play on either. But I've seen it
the way
the
way the rule was, if the NFC team was on the road, if it's an NFC team on the road, it was a Fox game. Okay. If there's an AFC team on the road, it was a CBS game.
Didn't you pay attention to who was calling your games?
Heck no. You only knew Monday night. You only knew, Pat and Madden. Right. Otherwise,
back in your day, it would have been the AFC teams were on NBC and the NFC teams were on CBS.
That's correct. But what I'm saying now, you can have 2 NFC teams on CBS.
Yeah, that's really unstable.
That's the weird part.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But that's all in an effort to make the product even more entertaining. And so who benefits? It's us, the viewers.
Yeah, I could really care less. Yeah. It doesn't matter to me. I'm ready. I love some good football.
You're good with whether Romo's calling the game or Aikman's calling the game.
That was what I was going to bring up to you. And you, Spags. Don't try to weasel out of this. Who do you like doing the Cowboy games the most?
Both.
That was just shut up. Shut up. That was just what I was going to ask you. I'm so glad you brought that up.
Well, if you're going to ask me, you're asking me?
I'm asking both of y'all.
He's going to give you the CBS angle.
There is no doubt.
Absolutely.
I'm not asking Bill Jones, the sportsman.
Romo runs circles around that Fox broadcast. I don't even know who is on that Fox broadcast. I don't even know who that is.
That's right.
Some guy named Bucky.
He's probably the play-by-play guy is probably doing baseball by now.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure he is.
He probably
right
is.
now. That's right. All right. So that sets up your table for, and actually, we've got a London game. You know how early I get to be at the TV station on Sunday morning?
Well, you got to be there for.
We have a pregame show, which normally runs it's Cowboys Game Day on CBS 11, which also is streamed, by the way, on CBSDFW.com.
Okay. Shameless plug.
But it's normally at 10:30 on Sunday mornings.
Right.
Guess what time we're doing it this week?
8:30?
7:30 a.m.
So the Europe game?
It starts at, the pregame starts at 8.
And it's
NFL Today. It's on CBS at 8:30.
Who's playing?
Jacksonville and Miami.
Who cares? Oh, my goodness. Who cares?
Who played last week?
Do you think?
Who cares?
Do you think the head coach will make it back from London?
Oh, my goodness.
Who played last week?
It was a game in London, and it was not. Was it the Jets?
The Jets.
Yeah, the Jets did play. That's correct.
And
that wasn't a great matchup either.
And
I think it was like Jets and Falcons or something like that.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
Jets and Falcons.
Yeah, it was Jets
I
and
was thinking
Falcons barely won. Yeah.
Maybe it was Jacksonville and they just stayed there.
That's
Because that's what they were talking about.
That's right.
No one would miss them. No one would
that's
miss
right.
them if they did stay there.
In fact, Urban Meyer probably would be
He'd love
all
to
in
stay
favor
out
of
there.
that.
Oh my goodness.
He may be staying there anyway.
Right. He's still there.
Oh, what a world we live in.
Oh man. Moving on.
Yes.
Please move on.
To some serious business.
All right, and the serious business of the Cowboys versus Patriots, and of course, this is a virtual Friday, right?
Yes.
For the Cowboys players.
So crazy.
What do you mean virtual?
I mean virtual as far
for
as our
interviews.
availability.
For interviews.
Player
yes.
interviews are virtually done.
And what day is this for them?
For
This
Friday.
is like a rest
This
day?
is the mock game. So this is
Right.
their walkthrough.
That's
Right.
crazy. So
And then he practices like you would on Friday on Saturday.
Right. So that's why I call it a virtual day.
So their concentration's on the game, not a day off. I think there's some sense to it, by the way.
No, that's not true.
Yes.
Hey, stop, Spags.
No.
So on a road game, they will work out at what time here, basically?
In the
and
morning.
And then catch the flight,
And I
the
think
charter.
they got to be at the charter site by 1:45, and it's wheels up at 2,
Okay.
if I remember correctly when I looked at the itinerary. So that means you're leaving here at 3, going all the way to the East Coast. By the time you get to the hotel, it's 6:30 at night. Yeah.
In the Eastern time, add an hour.
Well, their first meeting's at 7 Eastern. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Now, the game's in London, right? No, I mean the Jacksonville game. I'm not
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking about
But we moved on.
No, I was just gonna say I had to talk
That
about
was
this.
like delayed
No.
thought.
I had to talk about this. I had to talk about it. You went to London, right? Did you ever go?
I did. In
Didn't-
'93, I went to
Didn't
London.
you hate the food?
Yeah. Well,
Well,
was
it wasn't
horrible.
It wasn't special.
you know what? Okay, that brings up another story.
Okay.
You know how many meals I had when we went to London in '93 for the preseason game? I was working for the NBC affiliate here, and the editing system was totally different in London than what we do here. And I was editing my own stories then. And so I spent like 2 days just trying to figure out how to edit a story. Literally, my photographer, Larry Herrera, and I, we were there for 5 or 6 days. We had 2 meals out that entire week there. We were like, they would have media availabilities where we would just grab a sandwich
Right,
that was
right.
made available
The
for
finger
free,
food that they
whatever.
had
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
That's how we would eat,
Yeah.
basically. We had 2 meals out. One was at a Tony Roma's in London. And so I would, to answer your question, I did not eat London food when
You
I was
have
there.
to. You
And
have,
they probably made Tony Roma's taste nasty because I used to
Yeah.
love Tony
Yeah.
Roma.
you gotta.
I bet
you,
it was.
You had to eat other nationality foods
Yes.
when you go there.
Because the other part of it is with the 5 or 6 hour time difference, we would get done at midnight London time and the restaurants would be closed.
Yeah, but the pubs would be open.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah,
He said,
we
fond
did.
memories over here from
We,
Spags.
we did not eat anything, but we drank it.
Yeah, he didn't say anything about what he consumed. otherwise.
When we went and spent the majority of the week there in 2014, I think the best food I had was the bread at the hotel when what they served for breakfast and lunch.
That was the Hilton.
It
London
was the
Hilton?
one right by Wembley. It was
Yeah,
right across
that's the
street.
London. I think it's the
One-
Hilton.
Yeah,
London,
Hilton London.
The best meal I had, everything was horrible, just horrible. The best thing I had, Sherelle and I went down the street behind the Hilton, and there was a nice little Italian cafe.
We ate when I went in that
tablecloth.
year, and
Best meal I had there.
that year in '86, I think our best meals were Indian and Italian. Yeah, and although this last time, the best meal we had is when we had the dinner at the Tower of London, which was pretty cool.
Interesting.
We got to do the whole tour, saw the crown jewels, and the whole little museum that's underneath.
That was
it.
in '93.
2014.
Oh, okay.
Well, it was 2014,
Yeah,
right?
right.
because that's when
So the last time you went. Okay.
first time I plugged in my laptop, it blew out my charger.
Why? Different.
I don't know.
Wattage?
I followed all the rules, and my laptop didn't like it, so I spent the week glomming onto somebody's charger to keep my laptop charged. Yeah.
The other thing I remember is the phone bill.
How long were you there?
Probably about 6 days. And I made one phone call and to home.
Yeah.
And it was the equivalent of about $250.
Come on.
See,
what are you talking about?
Well, that was-
back then, 1993, we
That
didn't
was
have cell
30
phones.
30 years ago.
We didn't
Yeah.
have cell phones.
How
And
long did you talk?
it wasn't long. It was to my wife, so it wasn't
Oh,
long.
of course not. No.
So when
Nothing
we
to say there.
when we went this last time, it was there was a European plan that you could subscribe.
Of course. Yes.
It was a week. You get it for a month, and then
And it was offered by American.
And then there was
companies.
another thing that we used. It was on an internet thing. If you were on Wi-Fi, you could make calls.
You
that
could do
way.
WhatsApp, I think.
And it was something like that. Yeah. So no.
See, aren't you glad I
wish
brought it back up? See,
I wish we could go
I'm not
back.
sure our listeners are happy you brought it up, but
Yeah. I'm ready to go back.
okay, can we move on from
Yes,
London
sir.
now?
Yes, sir.
We
Okay.
get on to some
what are we talking
serious
about?
business
Yeah, what
now.
are we talking about?
All right, you have an injury report?
Yes. And, it caused quite a bit of alarm yesterday and this morning when it was found that Tyron Smith was listed as limited in practice with a neck. And obviously that's the thing that has probably caused him problems over the last several years.
That's correct.
He had surgery in the offseason to correct the disc that was giving him problems. And so it was like one of those oh no moments, like not again, right? Well, it seems like they did an MRI, and according to the Cowboys, they got a favorable result back. And I think, obviously they're not going to practice today. So what they do for the injury report, which you have to give on Friday, they're going to list him as questionable, I'm sure. And then they'll see how much he can do tomorrow. But as Jerry Jones said on his radio show, he said he should be ready to go on Sunday. So I think he had a little something, and they decided, okay, let's shut it down and let's go get it checked out to make sure it's nothing more serious.
Okay, coaches have to think this way. If for some reason it flares up on Sunday, what are the Cowboys doing
Mike
this
McCarthy
week?
avoided that question.
Well, yeah, but okay.
The timing is horrible.
because he talked around it that we have some combinations that we can use.
Okay.
Sort of the way
and I don't
is just
expect him.
horrible.
the sort of way Belichick answered his
Right,
question
which is-
about his offensive line
Right.
mess. By the way.
And so I'm not expecting Mike McCarthy or Bill Belichick to reveal anything, but we
Yeah,
can talk
just take it
about
day
it.
by day. See how it goes.
So
What would you do, Mickey?
what would I do?
Now, and Tyan Secchi had an illness early in the week.
Well, it was. I think it was left over from his dehydration that
Which had
caused
lasted a
him-
while.
Yeah, and he got back into practice, and evidently he's practiced well this week. I think that they listed him as full, so
Okay.
he's good to go now. I just worry about him.
You know what's got to happen. We all know what has to happen. How
Zach?
Yeah, exactly.
So when they
that's it.
finished, when they
And McGovern
finished,
can fill in just fine.
when they
Right
finished,
guard, yeah.
when they finished training camp, and they were trying to find who was going to be the swing tackle. Steele started off training camp as the backup right tackle, and Nasecki was left. By the time we finished, Nasecki was the right tackle, and Terrence Steele was the left.
So let's say they don't want to move Zach Martin, and so you're going to play Terrence Steele. If Tyron can't play, do you move Steele to left tackle and have Inseki play right tackle.
That or Brandon Knight plays left tackle.
There's the other
Brandon
option.
Knight.
And that way Steele stays at right tackle.
And he only changed one thing.
So why did you choose? I mean, has Knight made a lot of progress?
No, but I
Was
mean,
Knight,
he's
I'm trying to remember
available.
how much Knight was used at tackle
That's
in
my
the
point.
preseason.
He was
Yeah.
playing mostly guard.
Right.
And then,
This year. Now, last year, he
and then
obviously
when
he
they
played
sat
left tackle.
people out,
Right.
he started playing more tackle.
Now, we are about 6 weeks removed from training camp. And so
That's why I'm saying.
I might
how
move,
this name comes up.
move Steele left and Zach right and McGovern guard, but they didn't listen
That
to
sounds
me
like
this,
what Everson wants
this
to do,
last
too.
thing either. But yeah, he didn't really get into. And the funny thing was Jerry talking on the radio this morning, and he was going, yeah, and we've got this, and he couldn't say Naseki.
Yeah.
He said, I can't say it. He said, I just can't say it right, so I'm not going. And they helped him out. Yeah, Naseki. So we'll see. But I think just from the way everybody spoke, that Tyron should be good to go.
So the advice on Sunday morning is to watch Cowboys Game Day on CBS 11 at 7:30 and then go pray that Tyron will be able to play on Sunday afternoon.
So Jerry's
You're
quote.
just plugging away today, aren't you? You are killing it, man.
Jerry's quote on Tyron and Trayvon Diggs, by the way, he said, looking good, they're going to be ready to go.
Excellent.
Positive reports on Tyron. So, and he said, I'm not being coy about it. They'll be ready to go.
Okay, now let's switch to the other side of the football.
Trayvon Diggs has not practiced with a sprained left ankle. He's been doing his rehab on the resistant cords, and it looks like they feel good about him being able to do something tomorrow and be ready to go on Sunday. Now, if he's not ready to go, I would imagine the next guy up is going to be Maurice Kennedy.
Which is he was the next guy up when he came out the first time
Right.
2 weeks ago.
And so you
They
would think
picked on him a little bit too.
Yeah, and I think McCarthy said something about Moe and Jordan Lewis, but you're going to leave Lewis, I think, in the slot.
Yeah.
And then Kennedy would go outside. But it sounds like he should be
Kennedy
ready
didn't
to
get
go.
much playing time last week.
He played towards the end. I don't know if I still have my
I've got it somewhere here.
my play thing here, but he got maybe 10 snaps.
He
something like that.
needs more. I always thought he needed just more snaps. I want to see what he can do. Out of all the guys that they brought in, that little bulk of guys that they brought in, he's the one to me that's a bit unproven.
He had 7 snaps on defense
My
last week.
guess was pretty good.
What did you say?
10.
7 snaps on defense.
Yeah. So I think that's the way they would go. But again, here's what happens. We all think about who's going to take their place. Well, now who's the next guy? And it would be Nashawn Wright, I guess. Because Calvin Joseph,
there you go.
they started his 3-week practice period.
Okay.
But I don't think he's ready to play.
Okay.
And I think, if you look at how they played in training camp, I mean, he's probably behind Nashawn Wright. Same thing at, the tackle position, depending on what they did. If Brandon Knight's not the starter, then or if he is, then Naseki's the backup. So you're going to have to keep all those guys active.
And by the way, on Kennedy, last week against the Giants, he had 7 snaps on defense. Of course, the week before is against Carolina is when Trayvon came out of the game as they made their comeback. He got 20 snaps in that game. And the week before against Philly, he had 13 snaps. As for Nashawn Wright, he's been a regular on special teams every game, but he had 1 snap on defense against Carolina and 4 against Philadelphia. So in his NFL career, he has 5 defensive snaps.
So it's Kennedy.
Yeah.
And then other than that, it was encouraging that Donovan Wilson practiced fully.
Yeah.
They got him listed as limited, but I saw him working, and he was working really well.
That's a growing problem. Correct?
And then KZ still hasn't practiced. He said in his interview yesterday that he will be good to go, but no player ever says,
I know,
I'm out, right?
Yeah, but he's that dude also.
Yeah, right.
You talk about somebody intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll fight tooth and nail to get in the game.
So-
And it's a hip for him, right?
And,
Correct.
Yeah, hip. So we'll see. But it could be a trade out. Wilson takes his spot in on the 53, and he's out. Whoever would have thought we would have said, well, yeah, but they kind of got a surplus of safeties.
Right.
Right? When
I mean,
who's going to play
good-
safety, right?
Good safeties, too.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's by
playmaking
design.
Safeties.
Yeah.
That
Yes,
is by design
of
that
course,
they have
of
so many
course.
safeties.
Through a lot of answers at the question, right?
It's by design because of scheme too.
And Wade Quinn's playing.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly, which is a lot like the way the Patriots play, and that's what I want to get into next here on Mick Shots in just a moment.
Good job.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
It's game day. You know what that means. First, kebab prep. Steak, pepper, onion, steak, pepper, onion. Next, a counterclockwise lap around the room. Now the lucky grease-stained jersey goes on. And lastly, the dance. You know the one. This is a game day ritual no matter where you are. Whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com and keep the tradition alive and well. Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Mick Shots.
Invite Rowdy to your next event, from watch parties to birthday parties, corporate events to special deliveries and more. Rowdy brings games, entertainment, and photo opportunities to all occasions. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Rowdy to book your appearance today, just like Jerry Jones did on Wednesday for his birthday.
Oh, that's right. Yep. 79, right?
79.
What, yesterday?
Wednesday,
Wednesday?
the 13th.
Okay.
That
Yep.
was Wednesday, right? As a matter of fact, when he was talking about it, where did I write that down?
Can I see the copy again?
What do you mean?
I just want to see what it said.
What I missed?
No, just what you said. So,
okay.
Go ahead.
Watch out. He drew some kind of crude figure on there. It looks pretty nasty.
Trying to see where I wrote that down.
So Jerry booked Rowdy for the
That's
birthday
right.
party. Is that
That's
what you
right.
said?
Yes. He said it was a quiet celebration.
Okay. It would be quiet if Rowdy was there, because I haven't heard Rowdy talk before, right?
That's true.
But he gets the fans rowdy, right?
Yeah.
So when Jerry,
So if you have a birthday cake, and then you can have Rowdy pop out of the birthday cake.
He's
on
not
your
going to say
appearance.
happy birthday.
Yeah, that's
He's
right.
just going to pop out.
That's right.
oh,
yeah.
here it is. So they asked him if something about getting older, and and they didn't say his age, but he said, "Well, I'm going to quote." He said, as Clint Eastwood said, "I'm not going to let the old man in." I'm going to remember that. It's a
Interesting.
good one.
It's good.
Yep.
Yep. It's going strong at 79. All right.
And by the way, we were talking about the Cowboys' injuries. New England's offensive line is still kind of a mess. Now, when the one guy that was on the COVID list, how do you say it? When you
Go for it.
No, I just said.
It's like Onwin.
That was it.
I don't know
He
exactly.
already went.
Yeah. I already did. I already messed it up, right?
And on we go.
Anyway, he's off. He's off COVID, and so they were asking Belichick today if he was ready to play, and he said, "We'll have to see." As Bill pointed out yesterday, their right tackle Trent Brown is already on IR. Shaq Mason has been limited after he didn't practice on Wednesday. He's coming back from an abdomen injury. So they've got some.
And Isaiah Wynn is on COVID,
right. Wynn's on
COVID. He's their starter at left tackle. Started the first 4 games of the year, missed last week.
Right.
Boy, they had a makeshift offensive line last week against the Texans. And in fact, if you go back and look at that game against the Texans, they fell behind and they came back and won 25-22.
Correct.
It was a 6-6 game. Actually, it was a 12-6 game.
At the half?
No, it was like in the second quarter. Both teams missed extra points. The kickers couldn't.
So don't let
last week was a weird week for
don't
kickers.
let any of
You
that.
got to throw that aside.
So, but then
don't let any of that affect your pick now. Okay.
No.
So you're going to have a weird score, right? So, but anyway, the Patriots then scored a touchdown. But it was ruled a touchdown on the field, but the running back Damian Harris was hit by Terrence Mitchell. He punched the ball. He did the Peanut Tillman punch at the goal line, knocked the ball out, and on review, I don't know if they really had the video to support this, but they called it a fumble. And it took points off the board for the Patriots. So actually, the Patriots had to fight from behind to win, but they had some horrible luck there on the goal line where then they fell behind the Texans. And Davis Mills actually played very well, the Texans' rookie quarterback.
I saw that.
He had threw 3 touchdown passes in the game. A couple of them might have been a stroke of luck, but he did complete them. And the Patriots came back to win. My big thing on the Patriots is you better not sleep on this team.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Their 2 of their 3 losses came by a total of 3 points, and one of those losses was against Brady and the Bucs. And so
barely.
Like 1917.
And they have put a roster together this year that is a competitive roster. I mean, they were active in free agency. They had guys like Dante Hightower who came back after opting out last year. They had a number of guys that opted out last year.
And defense is always solid as can be.
Exactly, right. And their defense is ranked 5th in the league this year. And they've always been big as far as turnovers go. They haven't been that big this year outside of their win against the Jets against a rookie quarterback. They had 4 takeaways in that game. But they are very capable of being very competitive all the way to the end.
So, of those problems at tackle, Belichick said today in his press conference, tackles are a moving target. So that's the best I can do from his side. Actually, he did like a 17-minute press conference today, and
I don't know what that means.
We got invited to join in on the Zoom call.
Okay, cool,
yeah,
cool.
It was good listening to him, actually.
So do you know what that means?
What's that? A moving
Tackles
target?
A moving target. Yeah,
he doesn't know what's
the
happening.
Moving target in terms of who's going to be playing.
Yeah.
I thought he meant just in general.
They're moving as a
he
target?
means for this. I thought he meant in general they are. He means just for this, in regards to his tackles.
With what they're going through with a couple of guys on COVID, and one has come off.
It's a carousel. That's
right.
what it is, yeah.
And he, when he was asked about Mike McCarthy, and he said, I wouldn't want to play Mike twice in a year. His teams don't beat themselves. You got to go out there and beat them for a full 60 minutes, which is a hard thing to do.
We couldn't say that last year about not beating ourselves.
Yeah.
This year we can definitely say that.
Better at it, right?
Better.
But when you think about it, McCarthy has virtually every year of his coaching career, last year being an exception, have had very competitive teams. And so some of the stuff I think that was happening last year, they were just trying to make something happen because they didn't have the personnel.
He was forcing the issue.
Right, that's right. Being over aggressive, trying to make things happen.
Well, he had to. I mean, let's just face it. He had to.
He does some of the same stuff this year, and we're seeing it more and more going forward on fourth down, and when you don't necessarily have the field position, but they're making it this year because they got a better team.
I was going to say last year was more of a gamble.
When you're going forward on 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 at your own 38,
you have a makeshift offensive line.
Right.
Your second team quarterback.
Now
or third or fourth.
Right. At that point is what are you doing? And now last year, what are you doing? You can't get 1 yard against air. And but now this year, if you don't go for it on 4th and 1 at your own 39, you're asking, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Of course you can get a yard.
No, of course.
Well, you know what? They're going to be upset regardless. They're going to be upset regardless.
And that's the change at every level as far as going for it on 4th and 1 in your own end of the field, like your own 39-yard line. It happens all the time now.
And if you look at McCarthy's reputation across the league, at this point, 4 in a row, it started off, shady. No one really wanted to give him a lot of credit. They were saying the Cowboys were going to win in spite of him. It's talking about how Dak's leadership is really the reason and this and that. You can't be a head coach and be 4-1 and not be a good coach. You can't be a 4-1 no matter what kind of talent we have on this team, and you can't say that I have something to do with the success of this team, especially with the hirings that you made. That to me, that alone is the basis of being a good coach, putting together a good team.
I wish people could, and they won't be able to, but listen to him after his Friday press conference, and then he just sits around and kind of shoots the bull with us off the record.
Mm-hmm. That's when the coaches are more forthcoming in Friday press conferences. Yes. That's the way I think it was with Belichick. When I was telling you about Belichick last year, there were certain press conferences. Usually it was the end of the week. As they say, the hay is in the barn by then.
They're a little more relaxed.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, he kind of talked about different things, right? And if people could hear him, they would understand what he does during the week. They act like he just kind of, I just walk around, Kellen, do what you want. Dan,
and they thought the same thing about Garrett when he wasn't calling plays.
And I'm just kind of here, I'll have a soda on the sideline, like they accused Wade Phillips of, right? And it was really interesting to hear how involved he is with all the different aspects of the game. So they got it going now. They keep it going. At some point you're going to lose one you're not supposed to. Although they've already done that to me. They should have beat Tampa Bay.
That's correct.
And I thought last night was another indication how susceptible they are this season. It's not the same team. I'm sorry. And if Philadelphia might have had a different quarterback for 3 quarters, other than the fourth quarter, they might have beaten them. Jalen Hurts didn't come alive until the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And he's still throwing passes that Bill would always say, you're going to scratch your head and go, what are you doing? But then he nailed a couple that was like, oh, look at that, which keeps you intrigued, right?
And then when you have a quarterback that's inconsistent, it makes the receivers inconsistent because there were some plays. One time a receiver stopped running. If he would have kept running, that would have been the perfect pass. I think they got a PI, if I'm not mistaken. If he would have kept running, he would have had a perfect pass. The DB would not have had a chance to grab him on the way by, and he tried to reach out with one hand. So you don't have any trust between quarterback and wide receiver.
Which is why the Cowboys are at such a great advantage this year because they've got an experienced quarterback who has experienced receivers they're working with. They've been, as we've talked about before, there's only one guy, a skill position guy on this team who has less than 3 years experience in this offense. And that's C.D. Lamb, who's pretty talented himself. And you talk about the Eagles, they got a young quarterback, and they got receivers or young whatever.
As well, yeah.
But then you look at the Patriots.
No running back for them.
And the Patriots are in the same boat as the Eagles right now. They got a young quarterback and they've got receivers that they've signed or young guys
running back
that
went down,
haven't been
they?
together. And
who's that?
Didn't one of their running backs go down? The Patriots.
James White. James White went down a couple of weeks ago.
He's already done.
Yeah, and
then the next guy, Damian Harris, who's their leading rusher, didn't practice on Wednesday and was limited, so he evidently getting better on Thursday.
Yeah.
So,
but for 20 years, the Patriots had Brady and veteran receivers, and it's a huge advantage. By the way, along those lines, we don't have time to get into this, but I'll just throw it out there. We talk about the 20-year dominance that the Cowboys had, 20 years, and the Patriots had of no losing seasons. Which is the more impressive? And a knee-jerk reaction is, well, the Patriots was more impressive because it's a salary cap era. But you could also throw out there, well, maybe the Cowboys was more impressive because of the number of quarterbacks the Cowboys had over that 20-year period from 1965 to 84, while the Patriots just had the one quarterback.
And it's the combo itself, coach and quarterback.
Right.
Right. It's the combo.
Right.
That's
coach
what
and
makes
quarterback.
it.
The Cowboys had the coach,
Yeah.
but we had 4 or 5 different quarterbacks, from Meredith to Morton to Staubach to Danny White.
For a coach and a quarterback to be together that long, it's got to be a record.
Don't forget Hogaboom.
And Hogaboom. That's right. It kind of ended at that point, though, right?
Yes, it did.
Beginning of the end. You're
Yeah.
welcome, guys.
So which do you vote for? Which is more impressive? Here on DallasCowboys.com.
I have not seen.
That's a setup question like Bill's question.
I have not seen a lot of very successful, highly successful coaches without a very good quarterback to go along with them. And I think it's goes
So you're going to vote
hand in
for.
hand.
You're going to vote.
You better have the quarterback, because I don't care
You're
how
avoiding
good.
the question is.
I just said
is
the quarterback.
Is the Patriots streak more impressive, or the Cowboys streak more impressive?
Oh, that was the question.
Yeah.
Well, it was the Cowboys streak.
Here on DallasCowboys.com.
Because they didn't have the same quarterback for
That's
20
exactly
years.
right. Yeah.
You had to adjust, and they didn't have the. Well, they did have the same coach for. 20
Yes, they
years.
did. Yes, they did. Are you voting or are you abstaining?
I'm abstaining.
Okay.
He voted in the last poll he ever took part in.
Right. Don't put me in my quarterbacks, man. I voted wrong.
We turned him off from the conversation
I don't mind,
when we
but-
mentioned Hogaboom.
I don't
All right,
mind
we
telling
come
you.
back with more mix shots in a moment.
At Smoothie King, we are blending goodness to fuel your greatness. Every blend is crafted to help you achieve your health and fitness goals. Smoothie King uses only whole fruits and organic veggies. You'll never find sugary syrups or artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives. And unlike some other smoothie places, there are 0 grams of added sugar in many of our blends. Smoothie King is proud to be the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys. Place your order in the app or online for pickup or delivery. Smoothie King, rule the day.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
Back to mixed shots.
Check out the new Miller Lighthouse located outside of AT&T Stadium, where Dallas Cowboys game day traditions are born. Enjoy yard games, Dallas Cowboy cheerleader performances, beer gardens, and more. Game ticket required. For more information, visit attstadium.com/Miller Lighthouse.
All right, let's clean up something first. Peanut Tillman.
Peanut Tillman.
Charles
you
Tillman.
called him Peanut as if you guys were on an intimate level of.
Well, I mean, he's known for the punch-outs of the football.
I'm a fellow DB, and I've never heard him called Peanut before.
Oh,
so
yes.
What do you
Peanut
know that
Tillman.
I don't know?
In fact, look at his Wikipedia page. Charles Anthony Tillman, nicknamed Peanut. Yeah.
That's a pretty cool name.
Because he was small? Aha! Wikipedia.
I think it's his head. Probably had a peanut head.
Probably had a peanut.
Yeah,
well,
where did he go to college?
I don't know.
ULL, Louisiana
Really?
Lafayette. Yep.
Wow.
And where did he go to high school?
Don't know.
In Texas.
He did.
Same
He
high
is a
school.
Texas kid.
Same high school as RG3, Copperas Cove.
See, and I thought that's why you knew his nickname was because he was from
just
Texas.
punching that ball out.
That's
I'm going
crazy. I
to
didn't know
do
that.
Bill one better. The other guy that was part of that story, Terrence Mitchell.
Yep.
When the Cowboys cornerback.
Yep, 6th round draft pick.
So
in
do
the
you
Cowboys.
remember his rookie year
Yes,
in training
I do.
camp?
He was, man, you talk about a cocky cornerback. He was about the
He was here?
cockiest cornerback since Everson Walls to come
Yes.
here.
No, I was humble. I was humble.
So you're a 6th round draft choice, maybe 7th rookie, and they were doing some sort of coverage or whatever, and the Cowboys defensive back coach, and I'm going to forget his name. He ended up going to Atlanta. It would have been it was on Wade's staff, wasn't it? Like in the late 2000s. I don't remember if it was Garrett or not. And anyway, so they did this.
You're talking when Terrence Mitchell was drafted?
When he was drafted, yeah.
It was like 05 or so.
Oh, was that back?
14. I mean, not 05. I meant 15. 2014 is when he was drafted.
Okay, 14. Yeah. So Jason was here. But anyway, the defensive back coach was kind of called him aside and kind of explained to him, this is what the technique we use on this coverage right here. And he said, yeah, but coach, he goes, this is what I like to do. And I'm going, oh, this guy doesn't have a future.
How many picks did he get? He must be good. Was he good?
And they cut him.
Or traded him to Kansas City?
Traded him to Kansas City.
Yeah.
And he's still in the league.
Wow.
And he's playing well. I mean,
wow.
But when I heard that, coach, this is like how I like to do it. I'm going, oh, he doesn't have a future.
He's still in the league.
And
Well, maybe he had something.
Maybe he did.
He was a 7th round draft pick out of Oregon.
Yeah.
In 2014. That's right. And defensive back coach Jerome Henderson.
Jerome Henderson.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Joe Baker is assistant.
And he didn't say it quietly. We're on the sideline. Could hear everything he said. It was funny.
Okay.
All right.
We got to get to our
business here.
We got to get to our picks to click. There's one thing I want to point out, though, about the Patriots secondary. I had a little chat with Will McClay about it yesterday.
Okay.
And the number of DBs that they use on the field, they use a ton. In fact, he does a great Telestrator segment.
Another shameless plug.
Talking about Kyle Duggar that you can see on the Mike McCarthy show. It's also on DallasCowboys.com. But Kyle Duggar, their safety, number 23, 2nd-round draft pick last year out of Lenore Rhine in Hickory, North Carolina.
Wow.
How about that? But he's a 6'2", 217-pounder. And the way they use him is, they got those big 3-4 type offensive line or defensive linemen to hold up your offensive linemen. They can't get to the second level, so they can bring a safety down, and he will basically mirror the running back.
Gotcha.
And so he's the guy that they depend on a lot. Dante Hightower is another one who's a linebacker, but they have 6 DBs on the field a lot, and they were trendsetters, and that's what I asked Will about. I said, so were the Patriots like the trendsetter in the league, getting more defensive backs on the field? And he said, yeah, they were, and others have followed suit, including the Cowboys, and that's why you're seeing so much. Well, Keanu Neal makes the conversion from safety to linebacker. Jaron Kearse is another one where,
let's be real.
by the way,
Belichick
Will
did it first.
Yeah, Belichick did it first.
Let's be real.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Way before Patriots.
Right.
But go ahead.
We get going way back.
Yeah.
Okay. But these spread offenses and so forth, more and more teams have followed suit on it.
Run the ball.
And there you go, run the football. But anyway, I thought it was interesting, and I'm trying to remember what else. The other one I wanted to point out, the way Malik Hooker's playing in the run game. And Will said that he's been
making some plays,
He's
too.
been a real
He's coming up.
pleasant surprise because
he's very aggressive.
got a reputation as a free safety,
Yeah.
and he's coming down in the box and making plays. So anyway, I wanted to point that out. And there,
I'm so glad I was wrong about all of those guys.
And one of the things that came up this week, I don't know if McCarthy said it, Dak kind of pointed it out, that the key that Belichick does, if people were listening to Mick Shots, they would have known on Tuesday of this week that what he tries to do is take away what the team does best and force them to do something differently. And so Dak was asked about it, and he said it's just a challenge to us to be able to adjust with them coming out. And somebody said, well, if you're right-handed, they want to make you left-handed, right? And he said, and come out, and he said, if we can go left-handed if we have to. And so somebody asked, and then he went on.
In the Tampa game.
He went on to talk about, the Patriots are the team that does what they do best. They take away your fastball. And I think that's what you are trying to say about left-handed punch. So somebody asked him, well, what is the Cowboys' fastball? And he had a great answer. He said, depends what game it is.
Damn, that's a good one.
Right? And that's kind of what they've done, right? What's our fastball?
Yeah.
We can do either or.
Well, like
you
the
decide.
Tampa game, we
Right?
couldn't run the ball, so we went left-handed.
Yeah.
And we started passing.
Right.
I got my pick to click.
I do too.
Okay.
I have mine too.
All right, you want to
Just
go first?
based on that right there.
Yeah.
So this is what I was looking at.
Your left hand? Who's left-handed?
The left hand is Tony Pollard.
Okay.
That's the left hand.
That's my pick to
Come
click.
on, man.
It
You're
is.
lying, dude.
No,
That's
is.
my left hand. Tony Pollard, they're going to key on Zeke so much.
And
we are
due.
going to get Tony Pollard, whether it's behind the line of scrimmage or if it's going to be dump-offs, but we're going to create some space for him. So that big guy you're talking about, big man from North Carolina, he's going to have his hands full because Pollard's going to be zooming right by his butt all game long. That's what I'm looking at, trying to isolate him on the linebackers.
That's exactly what
and
I
the strong
Tony
safety.
Pollard is my pick to click.
And I'm looking at the score 27-13 Cowboys.
Okay. I'm going to pick a left-hander to be my
Kellen
pick.
Moore. Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore is my pick to
Boy, that's a bold.
Huh?
That's a bold.
He's going to
bold
match
pick.
wits with
That's
the
right,
wizard.
baby. All right.
Pull the curtain back.
Uh-oh.
So he's going to hang half 100 on him.
I didn't say that. I've got Cowboys 30-20.
30-20.
Yep.
And you putting 30 on Belichick's team?
Yes, I
On
am.
the Belichick defense?
Because I'm going to say players are more important than the play call.
This team. And
Yes.
these players.
These players.
Yeah. Before I go on, can we all agree that we could easily pick Tyron and Zach as pick to click?
Yeah.
Yes.
Every week.
Or the offensive line.
And I said or the offensive line guy right here, or the entire offensive line.
'Cause
I'm gonna always look at them as the strength of our team. That's why Tony Pollard's gonna get up. That's why whatever I pick is because of the offensive line. So I just had to put that out there.
Start of my column for today. It's not posted yet, but it was all the good things the Cowboys were doing on offense, the rankings, the players, Zeke, Dak. And then I got to the point, I said, I wish I had something that I trusted the grade on the Cowboys' offensive line. I said, it's got to be top 5 and probably better than that.
Probably better.
And that's a reason why a lot of this is happening, how well they've played, the continuity they've played with. And I wish I trusted somebody to grade the performances of offensive lines.
All right. What's the most number of points a Patriots opponent has scored in a game this year?
What did the Saints had? 27?
28.
28.
28. They had 28. Here are their scores. They lost to Miami 17-16.
It's Miami.
They beat the Jets 25-6.
Still haven't won.
New Orleans, they lost 28-13. Tampa Bay, they lost 19-17. In Houston, they won 25-22.
Yeah, I was going to say Houston at first.
What's Houston's record? Like 1-4.
1-4. 1-4. They won their first game.
That's right.
Did the Jets win one? I said
down.
they haven't
Yes,
won
they
yet.
have.
They have.
Yeah.
They're 1-4.
Yeah.
And Miami's
They beat Detroit, didn't they?
one in.
They beat Detroit?
Yeah, I think that was.
Yeah.
That's why the coach is crying.
Miami's 1-4.
Okay.
Ooh.
Dang.
All right, so
30 to 20.
30 to 20. So that's the most number of points a team has gotten against the Patriots this season. And I'm going to go with crazy score.
Oh, how are they going to get there, Bill?
They're going to miss extra points.
No, we're not. Ooh, shut up. Nobody's missing. Greg, the leg is solid.
Okay, Cowboys win behind Tony Pollard and 32 to 18.
Oh, you're going in the 30s.
He's getting 32. He stole
He
that.
said 18.
18.
So we're going to be some hell of a red zone play. Oh, I thought you were going like 6 field goals. You know?
That's how you get to 32. 6 field goals and 2 touchdowns.
Stop. We're not going there like we did last week.
All right, so there you have it. And Pollard get 150
total.
Combined.
Yes.
Yeah, rushing and receiving. I'm going to go 175 rushing and receiving.
Really?
Yeah.
Just Pollard.
Break off a long one.
Just Pollard.
Go 75 with a pass. And then you're already halfway there almost.
Good thing you don't have to be held accountable.
That's right.
Isn't this nice, this fantasy room that we're in?
Okay, and speaking of that, I'm going to my fantasy football teams next and seeing if I can pick up Tony Pollard in a trade. All right, we will chat. Oh, Monday morning we are on, right?
We're on at 9 a.m. Monday morning.
You guys?
You are too.
What do you mean, you guys?
I thought I was with the 1:30 crowd. I want
That's
to be
not till Wednesday.
Okay.
It changes on Tuesday and Wednesday, but we reconvene Monday morning at 9.
So we will have the first word the day after.
That's
right.
good.
All
and everything's going to happen after we sign off.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so that does it. Enjoy your fabulous football weekend. We'll see you Monday morning.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!